replace the joke. I'm not sure if this is interesting to you guys, so I'll make it quick. But it's all about where you place the joke and what you make a joke of. You can't make a joke of something that you want to have stakes for the characters later. If you want some threat to be a big threat, later on in the episode, you can't make a joke about it. Even if it's a really good joke, you can't do it. Because then you can't ask the audience to care about it once you've made fun of it within the characters. So in that, you can be bungling over things that don't matter. Personal relationships you can be bungling, but when it comes down to accomplishing the task, you have to stay on. And that's one of the things that if we had sort of a mission statement, that was one of them. To sort of always stay on point when dealing with things that were a threat, for what it's worth.
Hi, hello again.
Hello.
I just have a quick question. I was a big fan. I love the show, but at the end, I was just left hanging with some things. Do you think there is a possibility in the future of a Eureka movie to wrap it up and we can see the baby in a little more to the end?
I'd love that. I would love that, and we would all love that. I know the writers would love that. I know all the cast would come back. They have everybody on board. I mean, I know you guys know at this point that they've canceled Warehouse. And the con is done. That'd be awesome. Best way to leave the stage.
Dropping my game, right?
I'm going home now. Warehouse, they announced that the next season is going to be its last, and they're just going to do 6 episodes. So in my world, that means that they have a window to bring back some of the tone, because they're only going to have 6 episodes of sort of lighter comedic sci-fi on the channel. And that to me means maybe we could. But I don't really understand that company for having worked with them for 6 or 7 years. So, what's that? Yeah, right. Like you can't. They're
they totally screwed up.
They did. It's true. But they have this business model where they run like 5 seasons, and then hell or high water, they cut it off. And it seems to be what they do.
It's a syndication window. You get to like the magic number of episodes, and then after that, it's okay.
But that model's changed because now, like, Warehouse is going to be done before their 60th episode,
right?
Which is below what they think, and it does really well for them. They get 2 million viewers live, I guess, a week whenever they air. So I think it's confusing for me. I'm sure they know what they're doing, but it doesn't make much sense to do. They don't know what they're doing. Stupid audience. We'll just stupid people who, gave us lots of money to make a series, gummies.
Towards the later seasons, where the show is, are they going to bring it back? Are they going to renew? Was there a tension on set, knowing that the axe was just poised there, and even afterwards, when they knew you knew where the season was going to end after 6? You had a finite number of episodes, not as many as the writers were hoping for to get that final end game going. Was that palpable on set as you guys were in production?
No company likes to be asked for a raise, right? So there's this sort of two-headed beast of working in production where they send out all these press releases, which are like, it's the greatest show on television for demographic 18 to 65. They write like this super long, qualification of the numbers that they do, and to the press they say it's the greatest thing ever, and then so you sort of think like, oh, well, done deal, we're coming back next year, and they turn to you and they go, well, we don't know. We're gonna have to see, and it's all about not getting ahead of yourself and all that, and not wanting anyone to ask for a raise. Not that you're allowed. By the way, just so you know those things that they do where it's like, it's season 3.5. You know the 0.5 season? Do you know the reason for that? If they call it season 4, we get a raise.
There's the light bulb.
Classy. So they're because a production season is different from an airing season, right? A production season is the season that you make the episodes. And they can make you make 36 episodes in a season. Doesn't matter. That's a production season. The airing season is what you get paid on. And the airing season, they can say it's 3 and 3.5. It's still the same airing season. So that's a little trick that they use to, save money every now and then. Yeah, it's in the contracts, yeah.
I love the entertainment industry.
Awesome, isn't it? It's the weirdest land to work in. I mean, it's really fun because it's like snakes and ladders. You have no idea what's going on. There's all sorts of weird.
Pretty much all snakes at this point.
Pretty much. Right over here. But again, I mean, it's fun to joke about them. But they gave us, hundreds of millions of dollars to make the show over 6 years. So it's really hard to get angry at them, at the end of the day.
So I got to see you yesterday at the photo.
Was that sincere? You buy it? All right.
And very briefly, I was able to ask you a question before I was shooting along.
Did I shoot you along?
No. It's actually about Stupidest Angel.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could elaborate on that. I know you said if they make it, how likely do you think that is, and how did you come by that part?
I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Charissa.
I didn't know it. No, I thought I had just a little moment of honesty for you. I signed on to this project. It's a book by Morton, I believe. And it's called The Stupidest Angel. It's about sort of this zombie Christmas story with a heart. I signed on to do it. It was me. It was Tyler Levine. It was Dina Meyer. It was a bunch of us who were going to do it, and I went in for the thing, and the director's like, "Hey, this is the set, and we're shooting here, and it's a new business model, and it's going to be amazing." And then he went off to prep it, and we didn't hear anything for like 6 months or a year passed. And then Chris tweeted me the other day. He's like, "Do you know where this thing is? Like, do you know what's happening with this thing?" And I was like, "I haven't heard anything in months." So it could be one of those things that sort of comes up and goes away, or it might be right on the verge of being made, and I have no clue. But if it gets made, I'd love to do it, and I would do it. But I genuinely I haven't heard from the director in 8 months, so it's a good sign. No clue what's going to happen with it. Did that answer that?
Yeah, how did you come by the part? Christopher Moore is actually my favorite author, and I was shocked and amazed and overjoyed that you would be playing Tucker Case.
Oh, it was as simple as I got an offer for an audition. And I drove across town and went in for the audition, and there was no one else there. It was just a really weird moment, because you're used to sort of, you show up for a job interview and you just assume other people are being interviewed at the same time because it's normal. And he like ushered me to the room, and we did the scene sort of a preposterous number of times, to the point where you're like, I got no gas in the tank. Like that's all I can do. I can't do it any other way for you. And it seemed like it was a done deal right then and there. Good guy, nice director, but again, I have no clue what's going to happen with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right back over here.
Colin, first off, wow. Huge fan. Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me, guys. I appreciate that.
So, we know throughout the industry is having a huge, large amount of...
You can stop that right there. It's true. Yes.
Personal energy. We can see it right now. You're did you do your own stunts?
Yeah.
That's awesome. There was one in particular where you were getting thrown around. You're throwing yourself around by some invisible force and throw yourself into a wall.
Yeah.
You did it in Colin's fast, but could you, maybe demonstrate for us?
Let's put him on the plane in a cast. Fabulous.
Here's the story on how I learned not to demonstrate that. So I'm in Australia. You guys heard this?
Oh yeah.
You can look it up on YouTube. So I'm in Australia and I'm doing this panel and I go, oh well, I'll demonstrate sort of how to how we throw ourselves into the wall and demonstrate it. I go through the wall. Who makes a wall with studs 2 feet offset? Right? Studs are 16 inches offset, sort of everywhere you go. And so the studs in the wall that I'm throwing myself into, like here, it's 2 feet apart. My back, which is broad, right? You would think they're good fit in between two studs. So I knock a hole in this wall in this university thing, and it just became. I was mortified. Like for the rest of the panel, I'm trying to answer questions normally. I can feel my face is beet red. And I'm trying to be charming, and I'm humiliated. And so that was that. That's why I don't do that anymore. Because these walls are more expensive. Sure. But no, we used to do our own stunts, or I used to do our own stunts because it's fun. And my brain, I'm missing a piece of it. Like they'll say, oh, what we want you to do is just jump up and just come crashing down to the ground. And I was like, oh, great. And I'll just do it. That's dumb. It's his job, and he's supposed to do that for a living, and yeah, it's a dumb thing to do. Or like they're so dangerous on set. Like over the first season of the show, this foot was broken, my right foot, because I broke it doing something. And then I guess the last season, this shoulder was dislocated, and this elbow. Morton broke my elbow doing you idiot. You know that scene? I guess not, because you remember when Kim died and came back, and he's running down the bridge, and I stop him as he's running down that metal bridge. Take a look. This is why set designers are not bright sometimes. Take a look at the banisters. Instead of having a solid banister, it's broken. So it's like it's this long, and then there's a gap, and then it's this long. So when Morton came into me and pushed me back, my elbow went right into the banister. And Joe's a strong guy. He's an ox. So yeah, my elbow didn't. Take 3 was awesome. That's really fun to do with a broken bone. And the elbow and the shoulder. In season 5, when I was fighting myself, there's no, you can't fake it, right? There's no way to fake. As much as you're acting, there's no way to fake getting hit. You have to get hit. And so when you're fighting yourself, this is a really bad position to get hit in when you have a dislocated shoulder. Because you're like, oh, you block, so I go block, and he comes in and he swings my stunt double, and he comes and hits me here, and it's just like my bell's ringing. You know what I mean? Like, it's terrible. So there's a lot of stunts done on set. And I like doing them myself because I felt that's something I could give. I'm all right with my body. I'm good with it. I don't tend to get hurt, even though it sounds like I do. Because they're just fractures, right? The body's designed to heal. This is my rationale in the set now. Because they're trying to take me off set, right? They're like, you gotta go to the hospital. I'm like, no, we don't know that. We don't know that. That's an assumption. Because it's probably just a fracture. And if you go back in time, we're designed to heal. So unless it's popping out, it'll probably just heal. And it does, which is the funny thing. So, the foot didn't heal until I rested it for a bunch of months, which is fair enough, because you're standing on it, it's not going to heal. But ultimately it heals. So it's just inconvenience, or pain, depending on where you want to use it. Sorry, that's a long answer. Alright, so sorry. Thank you.
I was just looking forward to the next craftball. Are you a part of the Stuntmen's Guild after the work that you did on Eureka?
No, I'm not. They would do the stuff. What we figured out was longest answer ever. I need a 2-hour panel. So time. Exactly, right? I gotta leave here. Whatever, we'll just keep talking.
What do you get the cigars?
Well, the stuntmen, what we found out was the best way to do it is that they practice it. And then I come on, and it was either Heath or Fraser, the two guys, because Heath broke both of his heels. It's so dangerous. There was this one thing I was doing. It was a ladder. I think there was the satellite at the top of the ladder that I was fixing with the winch. Apparently the safety harness was in the shot, so we had to get rid of it. Okay. It's about as high as that the ladder is to get the right angle on things. So you're climbing up, and to make the ladder look really sci-fi, they make it super wide, like super big rungs. So your hand, I got big mitts, and so your hand can't fit over the rung. It's so scary. I mean, I don't like heights, which is why they wrote that into the script. I don't like heights. So So they're like, oh, we're gonna write in the script that you don't like heights. Consequently, I'm always up high. Always. Like, oh. So we're doing this thing, and I'm way up there, and I have to take off the safety harness and hold on to this thing, and I'm just dying. And what they do is they put a pad. There's a pad that's this big on the ground, and the stunt coordinator, Dave J. Cox, he's like, hey, Ferguson. I was like, yeah. He's like, if you fall, hit that.